Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, I am joined by two of our regular fixtures, Dave and Steve-O.
Hey, folks.
Tonight, we're going to be taking a break from our usual campaign because we're down a bunch of people. We're not playing Conan. We're not playing Star Wars. Tonight, we're playing 7th Sea, the game of swashbuckling and intrigue published by John Wick Presents. This is the second edition of the game. It's the first time I'm running the game and the first time that Dave or Steve are playing it. So we will get a bunch of rules wrong likely, and it may be a little clunky, but we hope that you will forgive any rules errors that we make, as I hope that Dave and Steve forgive any rules fuck-ups that I make as well. Now, guys, one of the other things that we didn't talk about before we went live, Dave, Steve, and I had a quick chat about how the game works, how the dice mechanics work, what their characters are sort of capable of. One thing I didn't mention before we went live, though, was one of the things I do find really interesting about the game, which is the way you gain effectively like experience in this game. One of the ways that you do it is by playing through stories. Which I'll write. Like tonight is a one-session story, so there's going to be sort of like the plan is to have 3 steps to it, and then when you complete those 3 steps, you will get 3 points, which you can use to buy like a new 3-point advantage, or you can advance skills or whatever. Another thing that though is that's really neat. That is just sort of standard. What's in most role-playing games. What I find neat in this is that you guys each have a story as well. And as you guys pursue the story, once you get to the end of your own stories, then you get whatever. Like you'll pick another advantage that would be linked to that story. So, for instance, I'm stealing the background ideas from our Star Wars characters here, but Oscar is missing his sister. Right, his sister was kidnapped, and he doesn't know where she is. So that's what your story is. Oscar is finding your sister.
Right. Okay.
Pascal. You don't know, so you've got a total lack of memory for a big chunk of your life. You have amnesia. So your story is to find out what that, what the hell happened and what recover, I guess, your lost memories, just like Pash in Star Wars. So bear that in mind. I'm not sure that we're going to complete those stories, but I think that we'll take some steps towards them tonight. So, our scene opens on and this is, of course, the big white ship that's there. I shouldn't say big, it's not huge. The little schooner there is the Silver Shadow, which is Captain Pascal's vessel. Now, roughly 2 weeks ago, you two were each individually approached by a man named Hector de Oro. And that is Hector de Oro I just showed you. Hector is a Castilian man, and Castile is kind of like the 7th Sea equivalent of Spain. He's a Castilian man who happens to live in Carleon. He's very well spoken, very well dressed, and he wanted to hire you guys to undertake an impossible task. He heard that Oscar, you are a man who can get things done. I'm thinking like is Oscar could be working as effectively like a bounty hunter in this setting as well. You see him as doing that, or is he like a mercenary or what?
Let's see here. Deckhand for hire, and then I guess he has to do some bounty hunting to stay alive. Okay,
and Pascal. While you do have the letter of marque, obviously you always want to make a little money on the side. So Hector had approached you guys to break into the notorious Castilian prison known as the Montaña de Hierro, or the Iron Mountain. Now, you've heard legends of this prison. What this place is, Castile has been involved in a fairly protracted war with its neighbor, Montaigne. Montaigne is the equivalent of France. Because they've been so occupied with that, the head of the Castilian church really has not been paying attention, and the Inquisition has come to significant power. There is a cardinal named, what is his name? Gosh. They kept the Esteban Verdugo, I think is his name. Cardinal Esteban Verdugo is sort of the most powerful man in Castile right now. And the Inquisition is running roughshod over knowledge and science and any, like, basically you think of like how the Galileo was dragged before the Inquisition in our world. That's sort of what's happening to anyone with any areas of study. The 7th Sea setting, I should say to you guys, is a like a light fantasy a swashbuckling setting. There is sorcery and monsters and like things that go bump in the night, in particular in Ison. There are sea monsters and kraken and giant whales and mermaids, and there is also advanced alchemy, and there is different kinds of sorcery that each of the different nations kind of has, that has each has a distinctive kind of flavor, including the Porte magic from Montaigne, where they tear bloody holes in the universe and can travel through them or reach through them or call things through. Yeah. There is the what do you call it? What is called Gaius, I think, magic of Avalon, where they Sealy grant certain heroes powers, and so forth. So each of the different nations has ones. None of you guys are actual sorcerers, but one of the things that happened is that all sorcery, also any kind of advanced learning, has been clamped down on. So all kinds of like actual criminals, perceived heretics, anyone who doesn't agree with the Vatican Church, and men of learning are thrown into this massive prison, as well as any kind of forbidden knowledge. So what Hector has hired each of you to do is to break into Montaña de Hierro, Montaña de Hierro, and to rescue a man named Orlando de Baltazar. Now, we are picking up as the ship approaches the Montaña de Hierro. This, guys, is what that massive fortress looks like. So we can kind of picture in the pale moonlight there, it's mostly cloud covered, but when there's a small shaft of light that comes down through a crack in the clouds, we see this white-sailed and white-hulled ship that appears to be a shimmering silver, traveling very slowly along the coastline. This coastline is incredibly treacherous as well. Montaña de Hierro is named such because it's said that it is effectively immune to cannon fire. During the war with Montaigne, they did conduct a multi-day bombardment of it, and it said that none of the structures collapsed. So you guys need to break into here, locate Orlando de Baltazar, rescue him, and then deliver a message that Hector provided you. I'm assuming you've gone along with this because the pay for this is quite amazing. What do you think, guys, is going to be the approach? Now, remember, you've got a crew that can be divided into mechanically. The way that the brute squads work is you'll divide them into different groups. It's 10 points you've got. You can divide them into any number of whatever, and then they're just extra dice, and those raises all have to be spent at once for them to do something. So it's they can use to supplement your what you're trying to achieve. So do you want to bring any of your guys with you, or is it just Captain Pascal and Oscar who are breaking in here?
Do we want to storm the prison, or do we want to go all stealthy and...
Storming it would likely not be good. The Silver Shadow is a schooner, which means that it's, I'll give you the description that they give in here. The schooner is a very small, very fast ship. Because of their size, they can sail in more shallow waters than other ships and can run from a fight when needed. So you have cannons on it, but it's not like a galleon or a man of war where it's designed for protracted combat.
Right.
This fortress, as you can see in the front there, has rows of cannons. So and also there's probably inquisitorial guards as well as whoever the royal guards are that are going to be in the fortress. So likely stealth is going to be on your side, at least for the first for the initial insertion until you find Hector.
Stealth it is.
So what do you say, Steve? You think we should take half the crew and go under cover of night?
Yeah, we can do that. Do that. See if we can track him down.
Okay.
But we might have to question somebody.
Well, that's okay. I mean, we can rough a couple people up if we need to.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it.
All right.
Okay.
Can I go hide finesse?
That's going to be your approach, okay? And Pascal, what's yours?
Yeah, I'm kind of useless on land. Yeah, you know what? I will.
Remember, this is not. You can be really inventive in the way you describe your things, or if you're doing something that is different from your approach, then you could. What do you call it? You can just spend 2 raises to achieve whatever you want to achieve, to do something different. So let's say you rolled sailing. You could do that, and then you could use those raises in the scene to do something other than like sailing related, but it would just cost you 2 raises instead of 1.
Okay. Although I think in this instance, we're both going in the same way, so I will also hide.
Okay.
And we'll use that to kind of sneak through in.
Sure. Okay. I'm going to roll for your brute squad here, or for your crew, I should say. I'll just call them the crew, so you know. All right. Your crew's got. Is that 1, 2? They've got 2 raises. So, guys, go ahead and roll your dice now. It's the first time you're rolling in this scene, so get your bonus dice from that, and go ahead and make your rolls.
Here we go.
Sweetie.
I flew. Boom.
Oh, okay.
So the bonus dice would just be extra die, is that right, Kev?
That's right, yeah. Okay, Steve, so how many raises did you get? Oh, Dave, on your sheet, you need to pick your trait as well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's a little drop-down menu. So pick, I think it's probably finesse. There you go. Sweet. That's easy enough. Okay. So, Steve, how many raises? And Dave, how many raises?
4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you roll? Are there any leftovers?
1.
1. I'll buy that. So take any hero point.
Boom. Hero point.
Dave, I think you've only got 1 raise there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So and then, but here's the upside. I'll buy those 2 those leftover dice, so you get 2 hero points.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay. So, Steve, you roll the most raises. So, what do you want to do first?
Well, I will try to sneak around and see if I can.
Well, right now we're going to pick up the scene from you leaving the ship.
Okay. So we leave the ship from a point of view that's out of sight of the fortress. You're the boat. We're going to pull it into a little cove.
There's not really a cove here. You're probably going to have to. Because again, the coastline here is totally rugged and brutal.
Right. Okay, so the ship just drops us off then. And it keeps going.
Well, there's a rowboat, right? Like you could take a rowboat in and then try and like maybe scale the walls or something like that.
Right. Well, that sounds reasonable.
Now, Kev, do we have to preemptively describe what we're bringing with us in terms of gear?
You can if you want to. The way it works is like, again, because it's a narrative game, like I'm really going to leave a lot of the description of what you guys are actually doing and what it looks like and stuff to you guys. I'm intentionally like, if there is a specific opportunity or there is a specific consequence, I'll describe that to you. But you can also try and ask about them too, about like handholds, or you can spend raises to actually, create opportunities for each other. So let's see here. The consequence here is obviously that you guys will be discovered, and I think that there is the consequence will not come until 0 raises. But each of you guys, your crew, yourselves, you each need to spend 1, or someone needs to spend 1 to avoid discovery.
Okay.
Okay. And now you can ignore consequences are things you can ignore as well. You can choose to spend your stuff otherwise. Here's other things you could spend. An opportunity would be to start searching the what do you call it? The fort. So Steve, you're up first. What are you spending your first raise on?
All right. Let's see here. I note that, so we got our rowboat in. We're going to sort of turn the rowboat over or tie it up and then try to make our way up one of the walls.
Okay. So I will, the crew is next, and I'll let you spend one of the what do you call it? Crew members, kind of spins around this grappling hook kind of thing and it tosses it up on the wall. And they're going to spend 1 opportunity one of their raises to create that opportunity for you guys to set it up. And then I think they're going to spend their second 1 to avoid being detected. So then, Pascal, what do you want to do with your raise? You only rolled 1, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know what? Pascal will give of the 5 crew that we've brought.
Yep.
We'll leave 1 at the base of the prison as a lookout.
Yep.
So basically, his job is to collect the grappling hooks and keep out of sight and give a signal if let's say a patrol is coming through or what have you. That way, if guards do come through, there isn't a bunch of grappling hooks just hanging out of the window.
Okay. Yep.
Pascal, for himself, will take his raise to climb the rope.
Great. Okay. So yeah, you clamber up. Well, that means that you would not. You're not spending any raise to avoid being detected. So that will leave Oscar. You have 2 raises left. You need to spend 1 if you want to avoid being detected, and I think you might need to spend 1 to prevent Pascal from being detected.
No, I'll give him one of my. I'll give him the 3 dice or whatever.
Describe.
I'll help him out. I'll pull him up and stuff like that. He's not so good at this.
Okay, guys, I'm describing it in a mechanical way so you understand how the mechanics work, but I'd like you to describe it in a descriptive narrative way.
All right. I can see that Pascal's struggling a little bit, so I give him a hand. I pull him up over the wall, and I sort of make up for his mistakes a little bit more.
Okay. Give me a second. I'll get the proper. You guys got the wrong thing for Pascal up there. Give me a sec. Boom. There we go. There's Captain Pascal. Here you go, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
So you guys get up on top. You clamber to the top, and you can hear. I'm picturing you're sort of like right here near that where that tree is.
Right.
And you can hear that there are a group of guards that are sort of making their way down towards you guys. Now, I am going to now spend a danger one of the points from my danger pool. For this next round, guys, you need to you only get raises. Sorry, to get a raise, you need 15 points. So, what's your approach going to be?
Well, we need to get near where the cells are. So where on the diagram would that be, Kev?
The cells are probably somewhere in this. I'm sort of picturing this structure over here.
Okay.
So if, well, I can draw freehand. So this structure right here, I'm picturing as being one giant thing. That's probably where, if you did some research, or where Hector told you that you would find Orlando.
Okay. So I mean, my feeling is if we can get to any one of the occupied cells, we can get information from the occupants inside as to where we might find Orlando, like which cell he's in and what have you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So what do you guys want to use for your approach? Now remember, it's a second time, so you're not going to get that bonus dice if you choose to use hide again, but you'll get a bonus dice if you try something different.
Well, would it? I think Pascal's gonna take a moment to survey the terrain,
Okay.
and try to get a sense of the frequency of patrols coming through, possibly the numbers, just the general traffic. If he can discern exactly who it is that comes and goes from the area, if they're armed, if they're guards, if there are personnel that are coming and going that are perhaps just lay help, as opposed to just kind of getting enough information to formulate a plan.
Okay, so that's going to take a few. I think that'll take a few raises to collect all that information. I want to point out one other thing you can do with raises. You can use raises to make it more difficult for other things to do things. So, like, for instance, I am going to, that is called, what is it here? 1 sec. Pressure. So that's basically, it's like, I am going to use the guard. It's a group of 5 guards that are walking their way towards you, and I just rolled how many raises they're going to have. So what you could do is, if I say it's going to be 1 raise for them to spot you, you could use spend your raises to describe narratively how you're going to make it harder for them to see you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's roll your approach. So Captain Pascal, your approach sounds like it's notice. So that's going to be, I think, notice and probably wits.
Yeah.
So you roll that, and then Oscar, what's your approach?
Let's see here. Oscar is going to. Now, do we have some soldiers nearby? You say?
There's soldiers who are approaching you. Yeah.
They're approaching me. Okay.
You guys are sort of hidden in the darkness under that tree right now.
I'm going to sort of direct the other guys and tell them where to be still and where to be, and then I will hide as well until the soldiers go by.
Okay. So you're going to try and use hide again then?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to get a bonus. Your guys have 2 raises this turn. So Dave, how many raises did you roll?
I'm having a hard time making 10 out of any of this.
Okay, so you got yeesh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Could I use Devil's Own Luck, Kev, to
Yes, you can. Yeah, spend a hero point to re-roll. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Steve, that's a pretty decent roll.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Or how many
No,
leftovers? Make sure you're telling me how many leftovers as well.
none left over.
None left over. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that looking, Dave? Better?
Well, I've got one, and then
Oh shit! 3 leftovers.
now how do you get the leftovers, Kev?
How do I get the leftovers, or how do I know?
Well, how are leftovers calculated?
Oh, so basically the ones that you can't match. If you can't match, so like in that case, your best bet to make it so I get less is to just put like use the 3 and the 2 and then the 5. So that means there's only 2 leftover dice, and I can buy those for danger points.
Oh, so the bonus die count as well then?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
The reroll doesn't count. The reroll, you have to use that to substitute in, but the bonus die does count.
Gotcha.
Okay, so sorry. So I think, Steve, you got 3, right?
4.
4. Fuck yeah. So you got 4 raises. Dave got 2. The guards got 2, and the crew got 2 as well. So we'll start with. Yeah.
Just a quick question. So when I'm using all 5 of these numbers, right?
Using all 5 of the numbers. No, because you can only you can't throw extra dice in and say, haha, I got it at 10. Like once you meet or exceed 10, that's the total you can put into a raise.
Right, but when I'm so I've got under notice a 5 and a 3 and a 2, and under wits a 3 and a 5.
Yep.
But I can use it's any combination of all 5 of those, is it
Any
not?
combinations that you, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then I would have the 5 and the 5, the 3, 2, and a 5, and
No. Once they're used, they're gone.
Oh.
Yeah. Like imagine they're real dice. What you would be doing is you would roll them, and then you try and set them aside as 10s, whatever's 10 or higher.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So like you got the 5. That's why I'm saying that to have as few leftover dice as possible. Using one of the 5s and then one of the 3s and a 2 to make it 10, and then leaving 2 left over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
okay, I get it.
Yeah. So Dave, you get 2 hero points for that. I'll buy those. Okay. So Dave's got 1. Forgive me. Pascal's got 1. So starting with you, Steve, you got 4 raises. What would you like to do? And you don't have to spend these on a 1-for-1 basis. If you wanted to say, I've told you how many raises they have. If you wanted to say spend 2 to make it more difficult for them, then it would be impossible for them to find you.
Yeah, we could do that. Let's do it. Yeah, and then I'm hiding my friends and telling them where they can keep their heads down.
Because you're applying pressure to them, so it's more difficult for them to try and find you.
Right.
Does that make sense? Why that's impossible for them now?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so then what, Steve, describe for me what Oscar does. Give me a cool little scene of how he distracts these guys or how he makes them look elsewhere.
He for one thing, he lowers a branch and holds it down over top of the guys that are on the side of the hill.
Yeah.
And then he makes a sound like a bird and rustles the leaves.
Nice. Okay, so those two, what do you call it? So the 5 guards kind of walking along, and they're like, "Hey, isn't that?" And they're saying something in Castilian. I don't think either of you guys speak Castilian, so you don't know what they're saying, but they're saying something. Okay, then I think that what. So that was your first raise. You have 2 left. Then next up is the bad guys. In this game, bad guys go first. They're spending 2 raises to change their approach to try and look for that bird, but they don't find it because there is no such bird. And that costs them 2. Then it is the crew. What is the crew going to do?
Well, why don't we have the crew following us?
Okay. Well, crew's got 2 raises right now. What would you like to? And they have to spend all the raises on 1 action. So what would you like them to do?
Pushing forward towards the prisoner cells.
Okay, so we'll say that's like an athletics type thing. So they go scampering across the while the guards are looking elsewhere. They go running across this yard here, hit that wall, and then sort of all like help each other over, and then hug themselves over as well. And then what I'll do is actually they will leave. So that'll be one raise they'll spend to do that, and then then it's your turn actually, Dave. But you can actually wait if you want, because I think what they're going to do is create an opportunity for you to just climb up here.
Okay.
Okay. So that'll cost you only one instead of, like, normally if you're changing your approach was notice. If you're changing your approach, it costs you 2, but it only costs you 1 to take advantage of an opportunity.
Okay.
Okay. So they've kept one of those ropes. They go hiking over and then drop this rope down. You sort of look back and forth, and then go racing across, hit there, and scamper up the rope. And now we're back up to Oscar. Oscar, you still have 2 raises. What do you want to do?
My goodness, what next? What can I do? Maybe I slip in behind the 2 guards and I follow them. No, wait. That's not useful. I try to find the next point for us to clamber up on.
Okay, so that's changing. That sounds more like notice than it does hide. So it'll cost you 2 for that. Yeah, you know what? Okay, so here's what you're doing. Let me rephrase that. You're not using notice. What you're doing is trying to create an opportunity. Right. So what that'll be is basically it's something that anyone else can spend 1 raise on to take advantage of. So how do you think that's playing out? What are you doing?
I'm let's see here. What am I gonna do? I had a boost to guys. Get them up the wall to a good spot.
Well, they've already run over, and you're still at that tree, so they're actually gone already.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. I can continue to be my little bird because I'm a little better, more stealthy. I can continue to be a bit of a bird, a distraction, while they make their way over. Yeah,
I could. If you spend 1 raise, I'll let you sort of they'll start heading off in the opposite direction.
Right.
Okay, so those guards start to look elsewhere, and then you go clambering over to the. I'll let you spend your last raise to sneak over and take it or use that opportunity that they've created for you, the rope.
Right.
So all you guys are right here before this thing. Now, those 3 doors that are there, those 3 doorways, those are all sealed, heavy wooden doors. So what would you guys like to do for your next approach, guys?
Is this the only way in, Kev? Or like, because it looks like, I mean, if we're looking at that tower, it looks like there are other points of entry if we actually move higher up.
If you clamber up, yeah, but you're going to have to climb. It's sort of designed to avoid people just clambering up. So to get there, you'd have to climb over this part of it and probably scamper along the roof to get to the next to the entrance back here.
Okay.
Use of athletics.
However, one of you guys actually has a pretty nifty ability when it comes to locks.
That's true. I can open the door.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, baby. Is there a door nearby?
There is. Those are the ones that I just described.
Right.
Okay.
Well. Now,
remember
let's rock and roll. Want to go in the doors here?
Can Pascal take a raise to try to determine
what you're going to do is describe what your approach is next?
Okay, so we're not actually there yet.
Yeah, what we're doing is remember, guys, mechanically the way it works is to do the next scene, you figure out what your approach is going to be, you roll the dice, and then we use those raises to describe what you're actually doing.
Okay.
So right now, what we're trying to decide is what each of your approaches are. So are you going to keep sneaking there, Oscar, or you want to try something different?
Well, if I'm picking locks, I better keep sneaking, right?
Okay. So go ahead and click on your, what do you call it? It sounds like for you, it's going to be hide then. So there's no bonus dice, but you do get the reroll. So go ahead and roll that and see how many raises. Your crew got 2 raises again. And then Dave, what would you like to do? What's your approach going to be?
Pascal will continue to sneak as well.
Okay, so go ahead and click on your hide. And just, let me check your character sheet here. If you're using, yeah, let me here. I'll save you having a roll. So I just set your hide to have finesse. So just click on hide, and it'll automatically roll that for you.
Okay.
Boom. That's a lot better.
That's 2.
Nice. So Steve, how many raises?
3, no spares.
Nice. And you guys are giving me no danger points. What the what? So you got 3. Dave got 2. The guards got 2. So Steve, you're up first. What would you like to do? First raise.
Alrighty, well, so I gotta pick that door, right?
Okay. So you raise. Now using that costs you nothing. You just have to spend a hero point to do that.
Boom. Done. The door and give the guys cover and shush them in.
Okay. So you click it, and as you you can actually see from inside there. I think there is there's light from inside there.
All right.
So your raise is to sneak over there and to open the door. Next up is either Pascal or the guards. Who'd like to go?
Pascal will go.
Okay.
So Pascal will sneak over to the light source.
Okay. So you sneak over the light source. As you're right next to Oscar now as well. The guards, I think, or your crew will do the same. And it's back to Oscar. 2 more races to go. What would you like to do next?
So sorry. What are the other soldiers? Where are they?
You don't know. Like, what do you mean? Your crew are with you, and Pascal has just come running up with you as well.
Then, well, I enter the building.
Okay. So you walk in, and are you? Yeah, because you didn't tell me you're sneaking. You didn't tell me whether you were looking whatsoever. So I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, like, yeah. Okay. Well, I have to notice. Maybe we should do some noticing here first.
Well, that's good to know for next time. You walk in.
Okay.
There is a group of 5 guardsmen who are all sort of, sitting at tables, and you walk in, and they look over. And you look at them, and they look at you. There's a bit of a stunned silence moment here, and then they all, reach for their swords and try and jump up, and they're going to be attacking you. So. Right. This is an opportunity for me to tell you how the goon squads work in this, guys. There are 5 of them right now. You can for goon squads, every attack you do on them, every time you choose to do an attack on them, it reduces their numbers by 1. So, like, if you spend 1 raise on it, it's by 1, 2 raises by 2, 3 raises by 3, and so forth. At the end of the round, you all take damage equal to however many goons are left. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So they've jumped up and they're running towards you. Steve, you haven't actually done any actions yet, so you still have 2 raises to go. What would you like to do?
2 raises to go. Let's see, what can I do here? Wow. Let me see. What the heck? What do you think? Should I throw a table at them? Get my crossbow out?
Well, you could try the table. I mean, it'll have kind of it may knock more than 1 out, but.
Now, the just so there's a mechanical thing here. The table, I would just say, is it would just be like an attack. So that'll cost, because it's a different approach, it would cost you 2 raises, but it'll take 1 of them out. The crossbow, just so you know mechanically, because it's a signature weapon, remember one of the things you can do with that is spend a hero point, and then you do damage equal to the raises that you rolled plus your highest attribute.
Right. Interesting. And I mean, that would probably take somebody out for sure.
Well, what's your highest attribute, Steve?
Highest attribute is finesse, with just 4.
Okay, and then so +1 raise. And remember, I said there's 5 of them. You could take all 5 out in 1 round with a hero point.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's skewer them with my crossbow. Shish kebab them.
Okay, so these guys jump up. And well, here, I'm going to let you give the cool description for what happens here. Spend a hero point, and one of your, it'll cost you 2 raises because you're changing options, but describe for us what happens.
Well, I knew there'd be some soldiers in there. I was ready for it. It's my first rodeo. So as soon as I see the 5 guys, I whip a crossbow, and I actually one bolt in it, and it slices through them, and then I grab another bolt, flesh wounds I gave them, and I jab it into their abdomens.
Okay. So there's this flurry of action, and there's noise at Captain Pascal, and the guards are here. And then it is Pascal's turn. What are you doing?
So Oscar's basically dispatched everybody in the room.
Well, you're not. You're still. Remember, you're still standing outside. You haven't gone in there yet.
Okay. I will. What do I have as a weapon?
You have whatever you want. Like you have a musket on you. You could have a saber. Because the weapons you're carrying really don't matter unless it matters in the narrative. There's no mechanical damage from dice, or whatever. Steve is particularly amazing with crossbows. So he gets, when he uses an aim on a risk, an aim approach on a risk, he gets an extra bonus dice. Plus, he can do that wicked signature weapon stuff.
Okay. Actually, after hearing what Pascal knows to be the sound of bolt fire,
yep.
Pascal will draw his cutlass.
Okay.
But still, and will enter the room to try to provide support to Oscar.
Okay.
But doing so still stealthily because he doesn't know what's in there, how many people are in there. So yeah.
Okay. So you sneak around the corner and you sort of hop in as surreptitiously as you can, and you see 5 dead guards, and Oscar just kind of loading his crossbow again. He looks up at you completely nonchalant.
Well done, mate.
Okay, and then the crew comes in as well too. Now, what would you like to do next, guys? So you're into the first guard room here.
Can you describe the guards, Kev? Or I guess can Pascal take the opportunity to inspect the guards?
Yeah, of course. So these guards are they're wearing the colors of the Castilian army. So I think crimson, what do you call it? Crimson military coats. They've got each of them is carrying a musket. They have a saber at their side. And that's sort of that.
Any keys?
There are keys. Yes, one of them has a ring with a bunch of heavy keys on it.
Okay. Well, Oscar, how about this? There is. You said there's 5 of them, Kev?
There were 5 of them. Yes.
Why don't we restrain them, gag them?
I'm not sure that's going to be necessary at this point.
Well, I mean, they're going to come to at some point, right?
Well, no, because he used a crossbow on them. So.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's a little more than a flesh wound, eh?
You set that thing on stun, right?
Yeah.
Nope, no stun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we just take their uniforms, that key ring, and that kind of leaves 2 of the crew without uniform. But if push comes to shove, we can always pretend that they're prisoners and we're taking them to the cells.
Exactly. To cell block 1138.
Sweet. Okay, so that sounds to me like a I think that's a theft approach. What do you think? Or maybe convince. I think maybe.
Well, it'd be convinced if they get caught.
Okay. So convince and what do you think? And panache?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So if you're both going to make that approach, then just go ahead and roll them, guys, and then we'll go through the next scene.
Okay.
Your guards have. Oh shit! Your guards only one raise this time. And because, you're using it the first time, make sure you're using your bonus dice as well.
Convince panache, right?
Yes, please. Up here. Emily. Just. Okay. That is not great for you there, Steve-O. So, Dave, how many raises did you get? How many leftovers?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Okay, I will buy those 2. So get 2 more hero points. And Steve, now guys, one of these you could do, or you could have done with your hero points is you could spend them yourself to get an extra dice and then have your dice explode, or you could spend it for someone else to gain 3 dice and then their dice explode.
You know what? I think I've got enough that I'm gonna help Oscar out a bit here, and he's obviously put on his uniform completely backwards. And let's be honest, Pascal's been in the brig a time or two, and he's like, no, this will never do. Fixes Oscar up and gives him a hero point to do what he will with.
Oscar, at the top of your sheet, there is one that says, I think it's like roll 3.
Plus 3.
Yep. So click that, and then
boom.
There you go. There's 3 extra.
Oh my gosh! Well, it works. Right. Well, I've got at least 2 now. 1, 2.
Ooh. Never mind that. I was just testing.
You're testing, sure.
Right up. 1, 2, shoot.
Yeah, I think it's only 2 you can build with 2 left over. But go ahead and take 2 hero points there, Steve-O.
Okay. 2 hero points?
Yes, please. Okay.
Nice. All right.
So, okay, so that's 2 raises for Steve. How many for Dave?
I had 2 and 2, so.
Oh, yeah, right, 2 and 2. So 2.
I think you only have a max of 3.
Sorry?
I think you can only have a max of 3 hero points.
Oh, really? Is it capping out at 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Let's see.
Where are we recording these hero points?
At the top right of your character sheet.
Yes.
There's a little number in a circle there, and with 2 arrows next to it. Yeah, so it'll track it for you.
Oh, shite. Okay, I didn't realize that's what that was.
No, sorry. Bush League DM. Okay. So, next. Okay, so you have 2 races each, and so do your guards, or so do your crew members. So what are you guys going to do?
Okay, so what is beyond where we are now?
It's sort of like winding hallways that lead up to the different cells and things like that. Some upstairs, some up in the fort, some down.
Okay.
So I don't think you've managed to figure out where things actually are in here just yet.
Yeah, and I don't think we will until we actually find a living human being that we can interact with. But
from here, you could probably easily find a, like you'd hear the moaning from people in their cells from up and down.
Okay. Steve, what do you think? Should we leave one of the crew members here as kind of I don't know what good that would do. I guess It's not like we've got walkie-talkies or anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Yeah. We've got everyone with us, the 10 prisoners.
yeah, I guess, 5 guards for 2 prisoners. That sounds reasonable. Or, I mean,
Sure, why not?
or we could leave them here to continue the ruse, because if anybody walks into a room where there's supposed to be guards and there are no guards, that also may kind of raise alarms.
And
I mean, your crew is mixed enough, I think, in sort of ethnicities that you probably have 1 or 2 guys who speak Castilian that you probably brought with you.
Okay. Why don't we take those guys with us, and then leave? We'll take 2 with us and leave 3 in the room, and they can spend that time dispatching with the bodies that are obviously bloodying the floor.
Okay, great. And those 2 guys are 2 of the uniforms, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay, and then each of you guys are dressed in a guard uniform as well?
Yeah, so the 2 guys that are not dressed in guard uniforms will come with us and play the role of our prisoners.
Nice. Okay. So you guys are making your way up. You got muskets and whatnot in your hands now too. I was mentioning to Steve beforehand, one of the badass things about firearms in this is that they automatically do a dramatic wound when they hit. So but the downside to it, so the upside is that they do a crazy amount of damage. The downside is that they take 5 raises to reload. So you either carry a bunch of guns like Oscar does in the picture, or you just fire it, throw it down, and then get your saber out. Okay, so So the approach I was convinced. So you guys are making your way deeper in. Again, neither of you speaks Castilian. The 2 guards do. So maybe like as you're making your way through, it is quite late too. So it's probably. Do you want to go up or down, guys?
Can we get to the first cell and have one of the guards ask where, in which one they're keeping Orlando?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So that'll be that's convinced. So I'll let you guys make your way down the stairs, and to where sort of that moaning was coming from. You get to some of the cells, and it's just like a medieval kind of. You think of like the first Pirates movie with the it's jail, right? So like iron bars and moaning prisoners and whatever, and you walk past and like the prisoners on this level they're not what you would expect to be in a jail. These are all like older men. Some of them are wearing tattered clergyman robes or robes of the clergy, and you're walking along and asking what for Orlando, and the guys are kind of nodding, and then you finally get to one, and this guy looks up and he says, "I'll help, Orlando. He's my friend." And he kind of scampers to the gate, scrambles to his feet, and not to the gate, to the bars. "They took him upstairs."
Which cell exactly did they take him to?
No cell. And he's speaking Old Thayan in a accent, or in a Castilian accent. Old Thayan is kind of like the lingua franca here, is where everyone understands that language. No, not a cell for questioning. And the guy kind of shudders when he says that.
How many guards are up there with him?
2, but Sancho is with them, and the Padre.
Tell me about Sancho and the Padre.
Sancho is a vicious bastard who is skilled with a blade, and the Padre, his sword is as cold as the snows of Osura. Please, you are here to assist, to free Orlando,
that would be the plan.
He reaches through the bars and kind of grabs your coat. Free me. Free me. They will torture me until I die.
I'll tell you what. We will free all of you. As a matter of fact, how would you like to work for me?
Yes. Yes.
How many men here are seaworthy?
See, you offer these men freedom. They will all work. You can tell, like, it's unlikely that any of them have ever been at least on a crew before, but you also know that, like, desperate men make, at least passable seamen.
Fair enough, but how many of them are able-bodied, and how many of them are just too decrepit to even move?
I think you're gonna have to spend two. I'm going to spend one of the raises from your crew and then one from, well, actually, I guess we spend all the ones from your crew. So the two guys, someone look them over and they kind of give you a look of like, like there doesn't look like these guys are really, they're in much good shape to be able to, at best, they're going to be refugees effectively on your boat.
Yeah, we'll have none of those. What about this guy? What's his name?
I should mention that one of the things that comes with the game too, you got, this game is super punitive when you were non-heroic. So if you do non-heroic things, you can get corruption. And I think it's when you get to, and now if we played this as an ongoing game, I'm not sure I would necessarily enforce this, but if you reach a certain level of corruption, you'll lose your character because you become a villain, not a hero.
Darkness. Well, we're pirates. How are we supposed to be not evil pirates?
Yeah, this is a super, again, you're not a pirate, you're a privateer, so you're preying on specific enemies of the state. You're pirates in the same way that, like, movie pirates or, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride are pirates.
Oh, fair, but, I mean, they're not saints either.
No, but you're expected that your characters are going to be. That's the essence of the games, that you're playing heroes. Your villains, there are plenty of really horrible villainous pirates in the game. It's just that this game isn't about you playing that kind of character.
No, and that's fair. And that's not to say that I wasn't going to free them. I simply just I would not have taken them as crew.
No. What they likely, I mean, they're just as background, there is an organization that you are aware of in this setting called the Invisible College. The Invisible College is a group that is basically dedicated to preventing the Inquisition from destroying all knowledge. And if you freed a bunch of scholars from their clutches, that would likely go either towards, they would be greatly appreciative of that, and you would get I can't remember what it's called, influence, faction, I don't know. So it's some kind of benefit you would get from their organization, and they may even pay money too.
Okay.
That appeals more to Captain Pascal's mercenary bent than,
well, and that's the thing, is would Pascal have known that?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think so. It's the Invisible College is you wouldn't necessarily know how to contact them directly yet, because your characters have no contact with any of the secret societies in Fea, but it's something you're aware of, and like that certainly would be a way to get their attention. Plus, sticking a thumb in the eye of the Inquisition would be sticking it to the enemies of Avalon, because Avalon is the Queen Elaine, is the head of the Objectionist Church, not the Vatican Church. So the Inquisition kind of finds her to be a heretical bitch. So there's the other benefit to you.
Fair enough.
Oscar, what are you thinking of all this?
Well, Oscar is reeling from all of the various political interests involved. As an Eisner, I always think that the rest of the people from these lands are a bit crazy.
You know, your lands also have been ripped apart. I'm not sure whether I've got you listed as an objectivist, which is kind of like Protestant. But you could be Vatacine as well, because there's sort of equal amounts of Vatacine and objectivists in Iceland. But the war between the two of those things is what ruined your country. And fanatical dogmatists like the Inquisition are exactly the kind of people who caused the ruin of your homeland.
Sure, then I'm no fan of these guys. And but my man's got to make a living, so I don't take a political stand.
So what do you think, Pascal?
Well, then of course we'll free them, but we need to get Orlando back first.
You must hurry. The Padre, his questioning is quite severe. And you can see him rubbing his hands, and he's wearing this kind of like a robe that it's just filthy and tattered. And as he pulls back, he's not even trying to show you. You're just going to see it because he's unintentionally rubbing his arm. But there's horrible fucking lash marks and gouges on that have been cut out of his arm. Like clearly, this guy's been subject to torture.
Do the Padre and Sancho have any weaknesses?
Sancho is in his own way has a twisted moral center. If challenged to a duel, he will fight only one man. But the Padre, he sort of shudders again, cannot be reasoned with. I think he is not a man.
Well, Steve-O, do you want Sancho and I'll take the Padre? I think you're the better fighter anyways.
Okay.
All right. Well, do we want to continue this charade as guards then, as far as we can, or do we just want to go in there and...
maybe we'll hide our way up there, but then once the gloves are off, then we get out.
How about this? How about we take our two crew and present them as the next ones to be interrogated, and then once we're actually close enough to both the Padre and Sancho, we can kind of spring a surprise attack on them. What do you think?
Let's do it. Get nice and close.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me one sec, guys. Actually, there's two handouts I forgot to add here. Let me quickly add them in here. All right. Okay. So you guys, So I think that what you're saying is that you're going to keep in your uniforms, keep your two crew with you. You're going to sneak up to where the Padre is questioning Orlando, and then you're going to try and sneak in there and then attack. Is that right?
Well, I don't think we need to sneak. I mean, if the premise is that we're walking in there with these two prisoners that need immediate interrogation.
Yes. Okay.
And so it wouldn't seem out of sorts for us as guards to be bringing these two up, who will play the charade. And then when we get physically close enough to Sancho and Padre, mount a surprise attack on them.
Okay. So just as a reminder too, neither of you guys speak Castilian, but you did say that you brought someone with you who speaks Castilian.
Yeah. Did you not say that the two of our crew do?
They do, but they're the prisoners. Like, what are they going to do? We're here for interrogation.
Ah, yes. Okay. Well, how about we switch spots then? They can have the uniforms, and Oscar and I will be the prisoners. That actually, I think makes more sense.
Okay. Okay. I love it. Okay. So you guys, make your changes and whatnot, and the prisoners are now sort of, all getting up or trying to get to their feet to. They're all interested in this plan to get loose or get free. You guys make your way up the stairs. and as you can hear, as you're getting closer, you can hear the screams of some man from higher above. They stop, and it's sporadic. It's about constant. And as you walk into this room, you sort of you get up to the top of the stairs. There's this big, heavy oak door. You throw the door in, open, and you walk in. And what you see is there are 5 guards who are sort of standing around at not necessarily at attention, but sort of not paying attention, or just at ease, I guess. There is a man who is strapped to a gurney, or not a gurney, but like basically some kind of horrible torture device that has his arms wrapped in heavy rope that's basically pulling him into 2 pieces. That is what the man on the rope looks like. He's a short Castilian man. There is a robe-wearing clergyman who looks like that, who's standing over him. That, of course, is the padre. And standing at the side, looking somewhat disinterested, is this man. That, of course, is Sancho. So the padre looks over with somewhat disinterest and says something in Castilian to the your 2 guards, and then, or your 2 crew members. They say back that something else in Castilian, and the padre kind of shoots. He's just basically sort of acting as if, or gesticulating as if, like, well, why did you bring them here? Bring them downstairs. I do not need these yet. And Sancho seems to have his one eyebrow is cocked up, and he's looking over with a bit of, interest studying you 2. If we're going to spring into action now, guys, what I'm going to ask you to do is to tell me what your approach is, and then we'll make our rolls.
Well, Steve, why don't you go ahead? Pascal has an idea of how he's going to approach this, but...
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll and count your raises. Steve, what would you like to do? This is a new scene, so you guys can, if it's you're gonna, whatever you choose to do, you're gonna get a bonus dice for it being the first time you're doing it.
All right. Let's see. Can I use my? I have a sword, I take it.
Well, if you plan on using your if you're using a sword, you're using weaponry, which would be at the bottom of the list of skills. If you're using what do you call it? Your crossbow, you're going to use aim.
Right. What are we just for?
And remember, guys, if I think you're both sitting on a fat amount of hero points. If you want to spend a hero point, you'll just change at the top of your sheet. Change the dice from being normal to exploding.
Okay. Yeah, I think Steve Pascal's approach is going to be to basically lose his shit. He's going to start swearing at the padre, spitting in his direction to try to, in an attempt to convince them that that we need to be interrogated now. Like, we are far more vile than Orlando is.
Okay, so that sounds like
right. Well, mine.
Okay.
I'm going to try to, for the scene, right? I mean, we want to be sort of, it's time to sort of be brawling frame of mind. But maybe I can use that to be threatening.
Okay, so I think brawling is like hand-to-hand, is like beating people without weapons. Weaponry is if you're using a sword or cutlass or dagger or anything like that. And aim is if you're using any other kind of like range weapon.
Right. Okay, well, I'm going to pick aim then, but I'll use intimidate to help Pascal.
You're doing which? Sorry.
I'll choose aim as my strategy for the scene, but I will use intimidate to help that out.
You have to decide what. Just figure out what your approach is, roll it, and then get your raises, and then we'll figure out what you're doing with them.
Okay. Bananas.
Remember, you're getting bonus dice because it's your first time you're using it. But how are you?
Right.
Like, are you? So you're drawing your crossbow then?
Well, but I just want to use aim for the scene. But like,
you can't just say I'm going to use aim. You can change your approach to do different things with it, but like you can't. You still have to be doing whatever you're doing. Like you can't say, well, I'm going to do acrobatics, or athletics, but I'm going to use the dice to do something different. Like if the scene,
right? Well,
like what you can do, Steve. Like if you rolled aim, right, or you chose aim as your approach, but what you ended up doing is using each of those things to use, like a convince approach or a notice or something like that. That's fine, but you still have to start the scene with some kind of aiming type or weapon related thing. In the same way that
I think. Sorry, yes.
I mean, in the same way that if you use athletics or something like that as your approach, you'd still have to incorporate some kind of athletic type thing as your description for how you're entering the scene. Does that make sense? Okay.
I'm picking targets, and so I'm planning out my move when shit hits.
Okay, so I think your weapon is out there.
So I'm hanging back.
Okay, so count your raises, and then Dave, make your roll.
Well, actually, if Oscar's brandished his weapon, then the jig is essentially up. There's no point in Pascal trying to convince anybody other than there's going to be a fight at this point.
Well, I don't want to lock Steve into that just because it sounds like he maybe misunderstood what, like by choosing that approach, what that means. So if Steve, you want to change your approach, I'm fine with that. It's just that if you're going to use aim, then there's got to be at least you're entering the scene with a clear intent of violence, I think.
And that's okay. Like if that's what Steve is doing, I'll just accommodate that. That's totally fine.
Okay. Nope, we just lost Steve.
Oh no.
Where is he?
Yeah. His
feedback. All right.
Connection right now.
So Dave, what's your approach?
Well, if Oscar's drawn his weapon, then Pascal will make a mad dash to impale the Padre.
Nice. Okay, go ahead. And so that sounds to me like a weaponry approach. So remember, you get a bonus die because it's for first time you're using it in the scene.
Yeah. You know what? I want to use a whatchamacallit, the hero point for this.
Okay. Oh, okay. So remember to add another bonus die, which I don't think that's you're able to do that on this. So maybe just roll a +3 and just pick the first dice. But before you do that, remember to click on exploding dice instead of normal dice.
Okay, exploding dice.
So that means that if you roll 10, you'll roll it again.
And then a +3?
And then a +3, please. Yeah.
Ugh, that's pitiful. What is that?
No, but then roll your skill as well. Roll. And hold on. Is your weaponry set with finesse?
Yes.
Okay, now click on it.
Ooh.
Boom! At least one exploded. Nice. Okay, so there's a 4. So you've got a 4, and then the rest of it to build your raises. So what do you got? Is 1 and okay. And the thing is, if it's an 11, count the whatever is in excess of 10 as its own dice.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to take it's just the way that the dice roller works. So you effectively got a 1 left over there.
Yeah. So that's 3 and then 1 left over?
Actually, I count 4 and 1. Oh, you know what? I counted the plus dice. Never mind. Yeah, I think that's right. So 3 and 1 left over. And Steve, how many did you get?
4 and none left over.
Nice. So Dave, go ahead and take another hero point. I'll take a danger point. Okay. So I rolled 4 for the Padre. Here's the thing that's badass about villains is they don't have to declare what they don't have to suffer the penalty for changing actions.
Oh,
yeah.
How fair is that?
Bastards, villains. Okay, so he sees what's going on. He yells out, "Guards, get them!" And the guards are going to run in. They're just goons. So it's a 5-point goon squad. If 5 of them are left standing, you guys will each take 5 points of damage, or however many is left as they have. That's his first raise. So next up is Dave with. Hold on. You guys each got 3, didn't you?
I got 3. I think, Steve, did you get
4?
4. Okay, then Steve, you're up next.
Boom.
What do you want?
Let's take some people out.
Okay. What do you want to do? Oops, Steve, you still there?
Hello?
Hello?
Shoot. Hello? Shoot somebody.
Shoot someone. Okay, cool.
Hello?
So remember, it costs you, so you can spend 1 raise, and then if you want to spend a hero point, you could choose to do that badass thing with your crossbow and do an extra 4 points of damage.
That's good.
Or you could spend you spend it on Sancho as well if you like, or whichever one you prefer.
Sure. I'll do the extra damage.
Okay, and then to who? To Sancho, to the goons, or to the Padre?
Sancho.
Sancho, okay. So you fire at Sancho. So 5 will actually do a dramatic wound on him.
Don't I do explode?
Sinks into his shoulder. And
nice.
So the way, just so you guys know, villains only take 4 dramatic wounds. They don't suffer penalties the way you guys do with dramatic wounds, but he definitely takes damage. And incidentally, as you take dramatic wounds, they're not necessarily all bad. Like some of them actually give you, the first dramatic wound you take actually gives you bonuses.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very, extremely, I should say, cinematic. Okay, so Sancho gets shot. That's your first raise. Next up is Pascal with 3.
You know what? You know what a hero would do in a situation like this?
What would he do?
A hero would use his leadership advantage and try to turn the rest of the guards into helping us.
Okay, so the phrasing of that is you inspire a group to action. These guys are already in action.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's basically, had I caught them just sitting down.
That may, then you absolutely, I think you totally could have done that.
Well, fair enough. You know what? Then we're just going to go ahead with the attack on the Padre.
On the Padre, okay, so you go racing forward. Now, you have 3 raises. Each one you spend does a wound to him.
Okay. I will take all 3 raises then.
Nice. Okay, so you cut him. And he sort of dances back, and your cutlass, it does cut through his robe, but does manage to clip him. Unfortunately, not enough to do a dramatic wound yet. Okay, so that's Pascal threw all his eggs in one basket. Next up is your 2 guys. What are they going to do? They have 1 raise.
They will run interference with the 5 guards.
Nice. Okay, so one of the guards is done. There's only 4 left. Next is the goons, I guess. Oh no, they're at the end of the round. Next is Sancho. All right, so Sancho is not pleased with you, Oscar. What do you call it? The sword flashes to his hand, and he leaps forward faster than you would expect. And his sword just flashes, blinding steel through the air, and he's going to spend one raise to. Okay, so guys, the way that dueling works in this is that duelists have a bunch of really cool maneuvers they can do, and they have to switch up between rounds between what maneuvers. But he's going to open with a slash, which deals wounds equal to his ranks in weaponry, which is 5. So, Steve-O, you take 5, but what you can do, you still have 3 raises left, right?
Right.
You can spend your raises on a 1-for-1 basis to reduce wounds if you want to. Now, 5 wounds, just so you know how wounds work, Steve. 5 wounds would take you to your first dramatic wound. Your first dramatic wound gives you +1 bonus die on all risks. And then your dramatic wounds don't heal until the end of the adventure, but your normal wounds will heal after the scene. So do you want to take that 5, or do you want to reduce it by some of your risks, or what? Or raises?
Well, none of my ability is going to help out here, I don't think.
I don't think so. Hold on. Is there a... Oh. I don't think there's any hero point spend you could use.
You know what? Can I give Steve a hero point?
You could, but I don't think there's anything that he could do to prevent this, though. Like, he's already rolled, so...
I see. Okay.
Yeah, okay, let's reduce the damage by 2.
By 2?
Or do I just take the damage?
To be honest,
do I just take the damage and
gives you an extra die next round.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm just marking on your sheet here, Steve. So you've taken that. All right. So this guy, he leaps in and there's a nasty gash that he leaves along the side of your rib, and he's flashing the sword around to attack again. So that was his action. Then it is, I think that's everyone's gone. Top of the round. Oscar, your next action. You got 3 raises again. What are you doing?
All right. Well, I wasn't very impressed with that. So can I shoot him again?
Hell yeah.
Quick load?
Yep.
I'll skewer this guy.
Okay. So you're spending 1 raise, does 1 damage. Do you want to spend a hero point or any extra raises?
Any extra raise would do what here? Let's see.
Each extra raise does 1 extra point of damage.
Right. Go to the raise. Spend. I can prevent wounds with my weapon. Weapon. Weird.
Oh yeah, you can. You spend a hero point. You could have reduced it by 1 raise plus. You could have reduced it by 5. You could have thrown your crossbow in the way of his blade if you like.
Right.
It costs you a hero point, but you want to do that?
Well, I'll save it. How about that if I need to do it next time?
Okay. So then what are you doing with your raise right now? Are you doing 1 point of damage? Are you spending the rest of your raises? Are you spending a hero point to do the signature item damage? What?
Let us spend 1 more raise to do an extra damage.
Just through hero point? Or just spending the raises?
Is to do 1 extra damage.
Well, okay, so you spent 2 raises then to do 2
points.
You
guys not hear me? Yeah.
Okay, so that means you got 1 raise left. Oh, no, that's all your raises, isn't it? No, you got 1 left.
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes 2 points of damage. You hit him again. That one isn't as serious as the first. Okay, the next is Pascal. You used all your raises, so you're done for the round. Oh, I forgot. The Padre gets to go. Padre is going to think he's going to. He doesn't know that you're out of your raises, so he is going to spend the remainder of his raises to raise the to add pressure for Oscar. So Oscar, if you try and attack him, it's going to be 3 harder. So effectively, you can't hit him this round. He's sort of like keeping the distance between you and Pascal. There's a bunch of torture devices and shit that are around that he's sort of ducking between. So that's his action, and then it is Sancho. And Sancho is going to Sancho then sort of ducks back and then slams you in the face with the hilt of his weapon, and you take 1 more point of damage. And the next time that you do damage, it's 1 less. So he sort of stunned you. Oh, hold on. The next time a target deals wounds this round, you deal 1 less wound for each rank. Oh, you deal 5 points of 5 points less. He's really rung your bell. Okay. So then it is so the Padres out of raises. The Steve, I think you're the last one to go. You got 1 raise left. What are you gonna do?
All right. What can I do with that here? 1 raise. I can.
You could hit him again. You could create an opportunity for someone. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do for? I know what I'm gonna do for next
right.
one. Oh, you know what, Steve? You could take out one of the guards, so you're only taking because right now there's 4 of them left. You guys are all going to take 4 points of damage at the end of the round.
Take out a guard.
Kill a guard. Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, you know what, Steve? I think that you can't because the bash meant that you're just your head's ringing. And you try to shoot one of the guards, and it fires off blindly and smashes some of the glass, containers on their shelf. There's a sizzling as it falls out. But now you don't suffer that penalty anymore. You've made that attack, so it's done. Okay, so it's end of the round. These guards are now laying into you guys. Your 2 crew members are taken down by them. So they're gone. And then each of you guys takes 4 points of damage. So please mark that at the top of your character sheet. And then tell me what your approach for this round is going to be. Sandoval is going to, or Sancho, I should say, is going to try and cut you. You only got 2 raises again. And all right, whoopsies. And Padre. Wow. Okay. So what approaches are you guys taking? You guys can talk it over too. Like if you want to coordinate, feel free to do that. I'm sure grab some more water while you talk.
I don't know, Steve. I don't think you're how do you feel about taking on Sancho on your own, or is that are you getting a little shit kicked over there?
I can do that. Sure. We can get rid of the guards. Probably not a bad idea.
Okay, you'll keep working on the guards, okay. Well, if you work on the guards, I'll keep trying to get to the Padre, and then we can face Sancho, the 2 of us together.
Sure.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So, what approach, guys?
Well, essentially what we discussed was that that Oscar will dispatch the remaining guards.
Okay.
I would focus on the Padre, and once we've dispatched them all, we would both turn our attentions to Sancho.
Okay, cool. Okay, so sounds like then weaponry and aim again. Is that right?
I think, yeah. Steve, you're still using your crossbow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get the bonus dice from the. Excuse me, from the. From using that as the first time, but Steve, remember you do get a bonus dice because of your sniper ability. And Dave, unless you're spending a hero point again, make sure you turn it back to normal dice, not exploding dice. And then go ahead and make your rolls.
Okay. So if I am using a hero point for this, then was it just a +3 for me then, or?
Then it's going to stay on exploding dice. Okay. And then you click on, the reason we're using +3 is because there's not really another easy way to roll just one dice.
I see.
And the bonus dice only adds 1. So I'm using those roll 3 we pick the first one, and that'll be the one that you'll use.
Okay. So basically just mark exploding dice, and then I'm good to go?
Yeah, please. Ooh, good roll there, Steve. 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm getting.
Wow, 5. Holy shit.
5,
Dude,
yep.
I'm counting 5 with no leftovers. Is that right?
That's right.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not so bad either. So that's 1, 2, 3.
9.
3 with no leftovers, right? Dave, is that 3 with no leftovers?
1. Yep, that's right.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So first up is with 5 is our Mr. Oscar. So you're shaking your head. You're standing, staggered back a little bit. You see your colleagues or your crew members are down. Worst than Sancho doesn't seem to be even enjoying this. He seems just more perturbed by your assault. So what are you gonna do?
Grim. All right, let's get rid of those guards. They're pests. Let's skewer them.
Get rid of them. Skewer them. Okay. So you shoot another bolt at one of them. If you do, so you're just spending 1 raise, or you can spend as many as you like.
Do I get 1 kill per raise, or do I use a hero point?
Yeah, one per raise you spend.
And then save my hero point, and I still have an action left over. That's it?
You know what?
Sure.
You've got 1 extra dice because you've got that first dramatic wound.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, once you click on the roll 3, and we'll take the first one you roll.
Boom.
9. Oh, you had no leftovers, right?
No leftovers.
But you get a hero point now. Okay.
Hey, sweet. I do? Okay, great.
Yeah, because I'm going to buy that leftover. Okay.
Sorry?
I bought that leftover.
Yeah.
Because you had leftovers.
Okay. Sure, I'll use the hero point then to do an extra damage then and wipe them out.
Oh, fuck yeah. You can kill all. Yeah, so all. What do you call it? All 4 of the remaining guys are dead. You're just fed up with it. Maybe you shoot one, you smash the nose of another one, you kick another guy back onto a burning Bunsen burner kind of thing, and he is screaming and running around, and then you land a bolt into the final one. So that's the guards are no more. Next up is the Padre with 4. He is going to spend 3 of those to keep him. So they basically add pressure on you, so you can't. It's going to cost you 4 raises to actually do any damage to him. So next up is then Dave with 3. What do you want to do?
Can I use a hero point to circumvent that his 4 raises?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, that's not how that works, eh?
No.
He's
a villain. You almost think that as if the game is trying to let him live through this.
Yeah.
The game is really big on like recurring villains and shit like that.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So, all right.
Well, although I should say, so just so you guys understand what's happening mechanically behind the scenes. So he's got a certain villain rating, which is 10. His villainy is 10, and then I divide that between intrigue and strength. But as you do damage, it's the amount of his strength is how many wounds he can take before he suffers a dramatic wound. So like, it's probably gonna be easier to dramatically wound this dude. But is that right? Hold on, I may have fucked up. No, it's in the. Oh yeah, strength. I'm sorry. So yeah, because this guy's more of an intriguey guy, he's got other assets he can draw on, but he's probably going to try and get the fuck out of here at the earliest opportunity. Whereas Sancho is all just strength, but he's a lot wussier. Like he's got no intrigue. He's just straight up combat guy. Yeah. Anyway, what did you want to do for your action? I'm not sure I explained that terribly well.
Yeah. So I mean, if I understand correctly, basically the Padre's gonna he's gonna successfully book it anyhow. So
yeah, because like even though he's a puss and will take injuries pretty easily, he still when he makes his rolls, he gets to use his full villainy of 10. He sits on I rolled four raises for him, and he's just choosing to spend all of them on making himself very hard to hit. He didn't care for getting. He's hoping that Sandoval and his thugs would dispatch you guys.
Hey Steve, how would you feel about a bit of a redirect? You've got your crossbow. He might be easier to hit with a projectile weapon instead of me chasing him around. What if I went after Sancho and then you tried to peg him off with a? Unless he's just that hard to hit that even with a crossbow it wouldn't.
I don't.
Out of here.
What was that? What was that, Steve-O? Steve? Bueller? Bueller?
Sure.
Oh no, he's gone.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
I fucked up one thing. The way pressure works is the absolute opposite of what I've been using it. Pressure is you do what they say, or you have to spend extra dice.
Okay.
So what I'm going to say instead is he spent the pressure, and I need to spend 2 danger points to do that as well, to tell you guys to run while you can. So that means that to do anything other than run, then you have to spend extra points. Or extra raises.
Oh, and that was at the cost of 4 raises, was it? Which
yeah, he's really intent on getting you guys out of here.
Huh. Okay.
One sec here.
So are you rewriting the scene then like that?
No. Sorry, okay, I can't spend 3. Sorry, I just read it. I can spend 1 to do that. I can't just basically break the bank with it. So he spent 1 to say, run away. So basically, if you want to do anything other than run away, then you have to, it'll cost you 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, he spent 1 to make it more difficult. So let's go back to where you were, because you had 3 raises.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will cost you 2 to attack him if you want to.
Yes. Yes, I will do that.
Okay. So 2 is to, and you still have 1 leftover raise. You want to use that to buff the damage he takes?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's. Awesome. So he suffers a dramatic wound, and remember, all villains can only suffer 4. So how do you want to describe that?
Oh, okay. So as he's, I guess he's hidden himself between implements, and as he stands up and tries to um, implore Oscar and Pascal to leave, Pascal is having none of that, and he looks him square in the eye. He somersaults over the rack and wildly swings at him, slicing through his torso.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, Diablo. He did not care for that. Okay, sorry. So after that wrestling with the rules, I think you used up all your raises now.
Yeah.
Then it is Sancho. So Sancho enjoyed how that slash worked before. So he once again leaps in, and Steve, you're going to take 5 wounds again.
Okay, I'm going to use one of my raises to mitigate that.
You can, yeah. You've got you're sitting on 5 raises still.
I can prevent the number of wounds equal to the number of raises I spend.
Yep.
Plus my highest trait. All right, let's do it.
Oh, sorry, are you going to use your signature weapon then?
Yeah, prevent the number of wounds equal to the raises I spend plus my highest trait. Yep.
Okay, so you only need to spend 1 then, because your highest trait is a 4.
Let's do it.
So spend a hero point, and yeah, so okay. So you see that second slash going in, and sort of recovering from the shot at the last guard. You bring your crossbow down, and this crossbow is like, I'm picturing it's the kind of thing that your father and your father's father used to hunt monsters in Iceland. You guys are basically you would hunt the darkened forest.
Big heavy oak thing.
Sorry?
Nice heavy oaken weapon.
Yeah,
good for beating people.
So there's maybe like there's bits of it that have some metal to sort of increase things. So when he slashes in, you hit with the butt of it and knock the blade aside. Okay, so that was only 1 raise. So you're still 4 left.
Yep.
What do you want to do next?
Let's shoot somebody. Well, so that was actually, I think that ability of mine is actually, I can use a raise, not a hero point.
No, it's a raise and a hero point. It costs you, any of the ones under signature weapon, it costs you a hero point to do that, and then you also spend a raise and then get the benefit of the extra of your trait as well.
Right. So I think I have 3 raises left then.
3 raises left. Okay, so what do you want to do for your next raise?
Well, let's shoot I guess Pancho. Let's take care of that jerk.
So
let's hero point this jerk.
You shoot hero point that too, sweet. God, he suffers his 2nd dramatic wound.
Boom.
Okay. Oh. And he's not pleased. Okay, so then I think Pascal's out of raises. The Padre is going to turn and run. So he goes racing back. Okay, here, yeah, I forgot. So the complication here is he's going to go for backup. So you can spend a raise to try and prevent that, but you got to tell me how you're going to do that. So he's starting to try and run out the other side of the what do you call it? The lab. Then it is Sancho's turn again.
Now, Kev, is he going back down the way that we had come up?
No, the other side. It looks like there's 2 entrances into this place. Okay. He is going to... He didn't like that you blocked his last strike, so he's going to spend all of his raises to do a lunge. He does 6 points of damage to you, Steve, as he leaps forward, and these cannot be avoided or prevented. Okay, so you take 6, which means I think you got your 2nd dramatic wound now, right? Second dramatic wound means villains gain.
3 wounds.
Sorry? You have 3 dramatic wounds? Oh, just shy of it. Holy shit. Okay. So the that means we just lost Steve. Steve, you still there? Yeah, okay, so we lost you on roll 20. Hello. So the villains now gain +2 bonus dice because of your second dramatic wound. But you still get your bonus dice from your first one.
All right.
Okay. So that means it is back to you, Oscar. What do you want to do? You've got 1 raise left.
Let's shoot. I can use my raise to stop Pancho from running away. And what I will do is I'll kick a sword in between his legs and trip him up, and then I'll catch up with him.
It's not Sancho who's running away. It's the Padre. Padre is running for more help.
Oh, I see.
But picture the scene. If you can give me a cool, cinematic description of how you're going to prevent him from getting backup, I'm happy to go with that.
All right. Being a swashbuckler that I am, I dive underneath. As Pancho's stabbing me twice, I take those hits to try and stop the Padre from leaving. I realize it's play for death. Knock him into the door frame so that I can catch him next round.
You're knocking, Sancho into the door frame? Okay, that doesn't sound like it's preventing the Padre at all, though, because remember the Padre is running.
No, the Padre. No, I take it. Can you guys hear what I'm saying?
You're breaking up pretty badly, but I'm hearing most of what you're saying.
Okay. No, I say I took the wounds from Sancho so I can get in, and that's how I sought the Padre. That's why I took 2 grievous wounds that round, and then I knocked the Padre into the door frame so that he misses the door.
Okay, he's on the far side of the room though, so he's not running towards where you are. Are you saying that you were sort of this whole time fighting to the far side of the room in case this guy made a run for it? Steve-O? Hello?
We're not communicating very well here.
Yes, sir.
Now.
You're not plugged in, are you? You're on your wireless, right?
Can you hear me?
Steve, are you in your wireless connection? Because your wireless connection is usually kind of crappy. Hello, Steve?
I think Steve's having.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's having a hard time hearing us.
I'm fine. It shouldn't be bad. It's just being a dick today.
Yeah. Well,
hello.
Hello, Steve. Steve, can you hear us? I'm just going to send him a. Oh, we lost him again.
No, he's kind of back on a little bit.
Hello.
Yeah, Steve? Do you copy?
Hello.
Hello.
You copy?
Over. You dropped out of roll 20, but I can hear you right now. Can you hear me?
Steve? Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
While you're trying to reestablish a connection with Steve, I'm just going to grab a drink, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Steve?
Marco.
Hello, can you hear us?
Marco, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so what I was asking, Steve, is if you are going to, if what you're saying is that you were taking those wounds from Sancho to move yourself to the far side of the room in case the Padre made a run for it.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm not psychic, but I mean, I try to make a move to stop it. My original move was I kick a sword into his legs and trip him.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So one of the following that seems super cinematic. So you see him running for the far thing, the thing on the far side. You see one of the guards' swords around, and you just hoof it, and it goes skittering over, and he kind of gets caught in it and falls short of it. So you prevented him from running for reinforcements this round. Okay.
Right.
So I think that's everyone's actions for the round. So then. Steve, I just need you to log back into roll 20, and then you will pick your approach for the round.
I haven't rolled two. I see. It should be in there.
There you go. Yeah, Ian now. Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you guys? What approach do you guys want to take? I can roll for Sancho.
Well, Pascal, for one, seeing the Padre trying to escape.
Yep.
Tell me if this would work, Kev. Would Pascal be able to use perfect balance to basically intercept? Now, if he was going to, engage in like an acrobatic leap to put himself between the Padre and the door, or near enough that the Padre couldn't actually effect an escape.
Yep.
And attack from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Then that sounds to me like an athletics approach.
Yeah, I guess for at least for the perfect for trying to position himself
Totally.
properly would be.
Yeah. So that would be I think athletics and probably finesse, not brawn.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Steve, what's your approach going to be? Oh, for that one, Dave, you get a bonus dice because it's the first time you use it this scene.
Okay. And I'll also hit up a
Hero point.
hero point. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And sorry, Steve, what are you going to do?
All right. Well, I'm feeling pretty enraged and pretty bloodied at this point. I think I'm going to stick with my aiming.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think Sancho has suffered 2 dramatic wounds so far. You're 2 more from taking him down altogether. So go ahead and make your roll. Remember, Steve, if you choose to spend a hero point before you roll, you get an extra dice, and you get to roll exploding dice.
Right.
I'm not sure how many.
I'm out of here.
So
I'm out of here.
So if that's the case, would I then roll a +3 on this one?
You would roll
because I'd get the extra die for not having used athletics before.
Yes, you would. Yep.
Okay.
And you get the extra dice from the hero point. That's right. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So count that extra as your extra dice, and then roll. Nice. Holy shit.
1, 2,
2, 3. I think. With 1 left over.
2.
And Steve, go ahead and roll for your aim, and then make the modifications if you want to aim. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blow him.
Holy shit. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fucking hell. 2, 3. Yeah, wow. Nicely done.
2, 3, 5. All right.
Okay. And how many did you get there, Dave?
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, I think. With 1 left over.
So the 16 is a standalone. 8 and 2 is another one.
Well, so 16. You remember you break up the whatever's over 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just because it doesn't separate out the each individual dice when you're having exploding dice. So it's like the 10 is 1, and then there's a 6 left over that can be combined with stuff.
I see. Okay. So then does it have to add up to 10 exactly, or can it anything adding up to over 10?
It can, but once you add up to over 10, you can't add extra dice in. So
No,
yeah, so that's why there's always leftovers, or often leftovers at least.
okay, so there's the 10, the 8, and the 2, the leftover 6 and 6.
Yep. And I think there's one left over. So
well, then there's the 6 or the 9 and 2, and then there's one left over from there.
No,
so it's actually,
you're only getting you're rolling the +3. You're only taking the first one because you're not getting 3. Steve's not giving you a hero point. It's only when Steve gives you a hero point that you get to roll 3 extras. We just because there's not in this character.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Righto.
So, but that said, you're take another hero point though, and I'll take another danger point.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the Sancho got 3 as well, and Padre got 5. So the Padre is going to go first because villains go first in this game. He is going to use his raise to scramble to his feet and run out the door.
Yeah, but if I'm there, can he do that?
He can, yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So he hasn't called backup yet. He's just using that to get out the door, and you're free to chase him. Next up is Steve. You're at 5. What do you want to do?
Rock and roll. Let's take these dudes out. Which one's more banged up now?
Pascal. Well, Padre just ran out the door. It's okay. Padre just ran out the door, so he's not here anymore. But Sancho is still looking like he wants to, put this sword right through you.
All right. Did you use my? Did you take my die? Did you give me a hero point?
Did you have a leftover?
I thought I had a leftover there because 1, 2, 3.
No, I see 5. You got 5 and no leftovers.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 5. 1, 2.
See the so the
4. Yeah, you're right. 5. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Now,
all right. Well, let's do as much damage as we can to this guy with one shot.
All right. So, yes, if you want to dump it all into one shot and you want to spend a hero point, you could do 10 points of damage and kill this guy.
I don't think I have a hero point left.
You don't?
I don't think so.
You can ask your buddy.
But it didn't go up to 4. Mind you, it didn't go up to 4 though the other time. So it only went up to 3 when I had 4.
Yeah,
I think I do have 1 left.
I think it may only go. Hold on here.
You know what, Steve? You can just have a hero point.
Say what?
Yeah. I don't see there being any rules for a cap on hero points. So you should have extras. Yeah, like I don't know why the character sheet does that.
See what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. So yeah, that's fine. All right. Yeah. So how does this guy die, Steve? Give me a cool description.
All right. So we're both bleeding all over the place, and he's trying to pick himself up, and I'm trying to load my crossbow at the same time. It's like the scene from Shoot 'Em Up, and it's like a race to see who can sort of get up first.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just about to run me through the sword, and then I stick my bolt right through his liver.
He looks up at you and he mutters something under his breath in Castilian that you don't understand, and then he falls down dead. Okay, so what are you going to do next? So that is you. Sancho is dead. So then it is Pascal. What are you doing?
Dead Sancho.
I'm going to chase after the Padre and tackle him to the ground before he has a chance to raise the alarm.
Okay, so you used athletics, and that is brawl. So I think it'll cost you 2 raises to do that. Okay, so you're down to 1. Then it is the Padre's turn. Padre is going to scream out to call more guards in. Guards! And you can hear them stirring from somewhere down the hallway. Then it is Actually, no, that's right. You used all your raises there, Steve-O. So then it's back to you, Pascal. What do you want to do?
Well, we're gonna tackle the Padre.
You got him. You're both sort of grappling down on the ground right now. Remember what your job is here, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to basically take him hostage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you can quite do it because that's brawn, or I think it's more of a brawling thing, not an athletics. So you don't have enough raises to get that fully taken care of. But I think you're starting to sort of hold him down. Here's what you could do: is you could use pressure to get him to grapple with you. Remember, he has to spend an extra raise in order to do anything other than that.
Sure, let's do that then.
Okay.
I'll keep him engaged until such point as I can take him hostage.
Okay. So you try it. Unfortunately, he does have 3 more raises left. So I think he's going to be able to shove you off of him, and then, or like just sort of like, you know, wiggle his way out because I think you're stronger than he is. And then he scrambles to his feet and goes scampering down the hall, and you kind of like, you know, you just he was too wriggly for you to keep your hands on him. Okay, so that's the end of that scene. What are you guys going to do for your next approach? Oscar, you can hear that that gentleman is moaning on the what do you call it? On the well, I guess the torture rack.
Right.
What approach do you guys want to use? There are no villains in this scene right now, but there are going to be reinforcements showing up quite soon.
Well, Pascal's gonna run back through the door and barricade it. He'll tell Oscar to untie Orlando and head back down to the cells. Gather the rest of our men, and I think the jig is up. So let's get the hell out of here.
Okay. So I think that that to me sounds like it's going to be like a chase type thing. So I think it's going to be athletics.
Okay.
That sound right?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So each of you guys roll athletics checks for me.
Oh yeah, and what can I use? Finesse or resolve or brawn or?
Let's see here. I think it's probably finesse because you're trying to be quick, right? Like you're not trying to overpower stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So finesse, and then for you, Steve, you get a bonus dice because it's the first time you've used athletics this scene.
All right.
Actually, it's a new scene anyway. So Dave, you can get a bonus dice as well if you like. Did you spend a hero point on that?
I did not know.
On mine, no.
No. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, because the 10 didn't explode, so you put it back. Dave, you know the sheet well. Good for you. All right. Holy shit, Steve.
Yeah, rolling up a storm here.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 4. No dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. No dice.
I think you got 1 left over, don't you?
I can add the. I suppose you can do it different ways, right? So I got 10, 10. Then I go 5, 2, 4, and then 7, 7. You could also go 7.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? Can you do that? Can you use them creatively like that?
Oh, totally. No, you absolutely can. The downside of that, though, is that you're getting no hero points.
Right. Maybe I'll give you a spare die if you want to give me a hero point.
Yep, I'll do that. I'll buy that. So go ahead and take it. Okay.
All right.
So, that's how many successes each, or how many raises each, guys?
Well, I only got 1 raise and 2 extra, so
4.
I'll buy those 2, Dave.
Sweet, thanks.
Okay. And Steve, how many for you?
4.
Nice. Okay. So, Steve, you're up first with 4 raises. So you go racing downstairs, and you got the keys jangling. You are. Oh, you know what, Steve? You know what you forgot? Why don't you click on that +3? Because you get 2 extra dice because of your Duranic wound.
Oh, what am I clicking on? Oh, 3 + 3. Okay.
Yeah, because that'll give you, and then we'll take the first 2. So that's not super helpful, I don't think. from 1 to 1. But let's see here. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3, 4.
3.
So do you want 2 extra?
Well, actually, it's the same.
1, 2. Oh, because you can put those ones into something else. Okay, so that sounds good. Okay, so here you go, sweetie. Go on. Up you go. Up you go. Come on. Up you go. So you go racing downstairs, and you've you're freeing all these guys, and they're sort of like they're not particularly fit right now, but they're able to sort of stagger along with you. Pascal, what are you doing?
Barricading the door.
Yeah, right. So that's done. You've got shit in the way, and you can hear the guy on the rack still moaning. Now, what do you only rolled 1, so I think that's sort of all your. I guess you're a little more winded than you expected. Oscar, you still have a couple of raises left. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Can I? How's the Baron doing?
You could run down and maybe get your other. Remember, there's the 2 guards that you left, or 2 crew members you left in the guards room.
Yeah, and also, were we going to let those other guys go?
Oh, you've done that. That was what your first race was for. You know what? I'll say that's.
Okay.
So that's what you've done this round. You guys have taken care of that stuff.
Okay.
What do you want to do next?
All right, then let's go get the other.
Okay. So.
All right, let's go get the next guys.
Would Steve not have taken Orlando with him?
Did you do that, Steve? Did you get Orlando off the rack first?
I guess not. Let's do that.
I was running upstairs. Sorry, I forgot something. Hold on. So this is what Orlando looks like, guys. So you got
he looks awfully good for having been on the rack for overnight.
So he Orlando sort of slumps off, and he's got the same sort of burns that you saw on that other guy's arm. He says, "Who are you?"
We're friends.
I remember you were sent by Hector de Oro.
Yes, we are specifically friends of Hector de Oro.
His eyes sort of twinkle, and he says, "Hector sent you."
That's right.
You have a ship?
I do. As a matter of fact, it is my very own. And you'll find safe passage on it, if need be.
He says, then he starts sort of trying to move forward, and his legs give out a bit, and then he pulls himself up. He says, please, senor, I am Orlando de Balthazar. Let us take our leave of this place. But first, and he sort of points over at this elaborate kind of, it's what you would call a backpack nowadays, but it's more like a kind of like chest that has some straps on it. He says, please, my alchemista, I am too weak.
Do you need this?
See.
All right. Yeah, Pascal will pick up the box with straps on it.
Okay. So you grab the box and kind of jangle. He says, "Oh, senor, be careful. It is very volatile."
What is this?
It is my science, alchemista.
And what does that mean?
Bam! You hear a slam against the door.
Nope.
Bam! And you hear some shouts from guards on the other side.
No time. On we go, Orlando.
So you guys all make your way down. You free the guards. You run down into the guard room, and they're sort of keeping an eye on the door. You guys come running down, and they say, "What have you done? This place seems active. Time to go."
Oh, time to go went fast. We did what we were supposed to do.
Okay. So what do you guys? You guys go racing across the courtyard, and down that you toss the rope over again. You guys lower yourselves down. You lower down the Orlando's big chest, and then you head over to where that big tree is, and you can hear that there's like bells ringing, bong, 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 and there's lights that are starting to come on in some of the towers. You guys are scampering down the ropes in time to basically, as you get there, you can hear people scrambling along the walls, and they're shouting in Castilian. And Orlando says, "They're preparing the cannons. We must hurry. Where is your ship?"
It's just in the bay there.
He looks over, and it's still quite dark. And he blinks, and he says, "The close one or the far one?"
Well, Pascal, we'll take a second to confirm that.
So, Pascal, you're looking off in the darkness, but you can't quite see. But thankfully, Oscar, you got some pretty amazing vision.
I got great eyes.
So, Oscar, you sort of squint, and you can see this.
A vagina.
A massive Castilian galleon. This is like 2 or 3 times the size of your ship, and it is built for war. Orlando, his breath kind of catches in his throat, and he says, "No, El Beganza." And he says, "Captain Hierro, he's coming for me. This was a trap."
You know what? Once we get on my ship, she may be small, but I'll tell you this, she's much faster than that beast.
I hope, because you are not, you have no hope to outgun it. So you guys are sort of racing up, and this is like I said, it's a huge fucking vessel. It's still too far away. It's out of cannon range. But you guys basically are, rolling like mad with this ship full of people. When you finally get to the Silver Shadow, yeah, and you guys clamber on board. What do you do as you get on board, Captain?
Well, it'll be on all hands on deck. The men will basically hoist the sails.
Okay.
And we are beating the fastest retreat out of here that the Silver Shadow has ever seen.
Okay. So here's the way this is going to work, guys. As
a matter of fact, actually, Kev, is it preemptive to use Wheelman to attempt to do that?
Well, no, because what I'm going to ask for you is for your approach here, but there's a couple factors that will play in your favor here. For one, if you remember that this is an Avalon ship, so if you plan to, if you plan an approach that or a risk that involves speed or maneuverability, you get +2 bonus dice because of it's an Avalon vessel.
That's the one.
And that's on top of also you get your wheelman.
Yep.
So if you want to, as fast as you can, weave your way through the dangerous waters here with all the hidden rocks and shit like that, that sounds to me like both of those would apply.
Well, and that's it. Pascal would have memorized the route on the way in, and more than just the route, kind of the terrain. Okay. To be able to pick the least treacherous way back out to sea.
Okay. Now you lost 2 members of your crew going in, but amongst these guys who are on the deck now, because you've probably freed about like 8 or 9 people. They will be able to make up those numbers. So you're still at 10. Now what the rest of the crew can do during this is you guys can fire the cannons, but if you're going to be able to fire the cannons, that means they will be able to as well. So you may not want to do that. You can man the sails, which will Gives you an opportunity to put the ship out of range of the enemy's cannons and grappling hooks. You can man the bilge crew, which does repairs to the ship during combat. You can do the doctor's crew, which would assist the ship's doctor dealing with the injured crew, or you can become a boarding party.
You know, so, we're gonna man the sails. It's
well, you may want to just actually. Those are other options other than just like trying to pilot the or sail the ship. You're probably going to want to be sailing if you're going to use your wheelman ability.
Right.
Oscar, what do you want to do?
What can Oscar do here? Oscar can... Let's see, what does he got going on here? Well, I've got my eagle eyes, don't I?
Yeah, so you can see these guys quite far away. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I can be the spotter.
I think you can see them quite clearly. You can see the Baganza approaching.
Good. Well, and so yeah, so I'll use my laser eyesight to keep an eye out for them, but also to pick our path out when we're on the ship. Maybe look for rocks and stuff.
Okay, cool. So that sounds to me like your approach is going to be notice.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I don't get a bonus die for that.
No. You know, one thing that I'm not, and maybe it's just I don't know where it is in the rules, but for a game that's so swashbuckling and whatnot too, there's not a clear rules for how you run a chase. Which is weird.
That is weird, considering that there's probably a lot of high seas action.
Yeah, like it's just kind of shit that. So here's what I think the what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a roll for the villain who is chasing you. He's not super tough, but I've got a butt ton of danger dice right now, so I'm gonna boost this first round with some of these. And we'll make a check here. So their approach is they don't have to declare because they're villains. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to have there's going to be a consequence of 5, which is the ship taking damage, and then you guys can spend throughout this thing. You can spend raises on a 1-for-1 basis to avoid taking that cannon fire. There is an opportunity as well to risk another consequence for every opportunity that you take. Then the other ship will take 2 points of damage, or will suffer a 2-point consequence. And what I'm picturing is that you guys are sailing close to where the fort is, or to where Montaña de Hierro is, and letting them shoot their cannons, and then trying to like lure the Baganza into the basically into the range of the cannons. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sounds great, actually.
Okay, cool. So there's an opportunity to do that, and then you can also spend things to avoid those consequences as well. So basically, you got 5 consequences to avoid, and you can generate more consequences if you choose to try and then for each one that basically you leave yourself open for, then they will take 2. So, okay, so I've rolled for them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 raises because of all that damage, or all the danger dice. So go ahead and roll your. Oh, Steve made his roll. How many hits, Steve, or raises?
I got. I think it was 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep.
3. Nice. Okay.
That's good.
And then Dave. So you got. It'll be your sailing roll. Steve, go ahead and roll. Roll your 1 extra dice because it's the first time you're using notice the scene. And sorry, Steve. Actually, just roll 3 because you get 2 extra dice because your dramatic wound, and 1 extra from using the first one this round. So you can roll all those 3 count.
Nice. Wow. Oh yeah.
Getting
1, 2,
wounded is
3,
not
4.
always bad. And then Dave, go ahead and make your roll. Hi, sweetie.
Now, Kev, with the +2 for Married to the Sea,
Yep.
how do I add that on?
Plus
What-
you got a bonus dice. Here's what I would suggest: is don't roll a bonus dice. Just roll +3 dice.
Okay.
Because that. Oh, you know what? Hold on. No, roll the bonus dice because it's the first time you're using it this scene, and then also roll +3 dice.
Okay, and I'm also using a hero point.
Oh, then just +4 dice.
Okay. And then would that take into account the bonus for Wheelman?
Wheelman is no, it doesn't include that either. There's 1 extra dice from that, right?
Yeah.
Then what I would do is roll a +3 dice and just count the first one. So you're getting a huge amount of free dice. I'm gonna make a quick roll for Orlando as well, because Orlando actually has something he may be able to help you guys with. Yeah, I'll make this roll. Hey guys, so Orlando's approach was scholarship. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Hey guys, so Orlando has 4 raises as well.
Okay.
Here's what Orlando can do. He has access to his Alchemista bag there.
Mm-hmm.
He can effectively toss little things of napalm with that. Yeah. So if you can think to make any use out of those, he has 4 raises for you to use for that.
Can we launch them out of the cannons?
I don't think out of the cannons because they're in like glass canisters, so probably like blow up in the cannon.
Yeah, I was just thinking if there's any way to insulate them, well, then they wouldn't be effective. But or to use some kind of wadding as a buffer, so they would kind
of. If you spend all 3, like all of his raises, I'll let you make 1 shot like that.
Okay. But I mean, ultimately, we're actually trying to get away from the ship. So
yeah, so that's why I'm not sure how much.
I mean,
if you guys can give me a cool description, remember you can do things. You could use those that attack to add pressure to the Beganza.
Actually, Steve, what's the range on your crossbow? Or
yeah, what is the range on it? Pretty good.
I think it's pretty fucking far. As far as I think, if you're trying to, if you were to use an aim approach, I mean, you use notice instead, but you could probably, if you spend, remember it costs you 2 to change up, you could use it to try and influence the ship as well, or take pot shots at it.
I mean, do you think it would be beneficial, Steve, to use those little napalms attached to your crossbow bolts?
That sounds like a good distraction. Yeah, that sounds like a good distraction.
You know, if you can land a couple good ones in the sails or on the deck.
Oh fuck yeah! I'll let you use those 4 raises individually. Then you don't have to use them with.
Sure. Do you want to save any, or
What's that?
you want to save any?
Well, it's actually entirely up to you because I think you're the only person that's going to be able to use them successfully. So what I can do is I can hold off on the escape if you want to launch a couple, because I don't want to make it harder for you by like gunning it.
You won't. This thing's coming in like it's had a head start on you. So and it's coming in hard.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Well then, Pascal will do his thing, and Oscar will just do his.
All right. Light it up, as they say.
All right. So, Dave, go ahead and make your approach roll for Pascal.
Is that a +4 you said, Kev?
I think it's a +4 plus an extra 1 dice. So you get a bonus dice plus you get the Yeah, so 4 and then plus 1 and then roll your sailing.
And then so +3 and then plus sailing?
Yeah, plus 3 and then take the first one, which is
Yeah.
an 8. And then holy dice. So that 2 can replace one other thing. Fucking. Did you spend a hero point again?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? Holy shit, that's awesome. So, gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 even. I can I count.
Yeah, that looks pretty accurate to me.
I rolled 6 raises for the Beganza, and I thought I was pretty awesome. So you have shown me. Okay, so 8 is the highest roll, so you're up first. What do you think? Give me a captain's speech here for you. The other thing I should mention, guys. So you have your 2. You have your crew as well too. So if it's a 10, which you can divide out and have assist you with other shit too.
Okay. Yeah, if that helps.
So you can send part of the crew up in the sails, or you can send all of them in the sails, or some of the sails, some of the cannons, whatever you want.
Well, at this point in time, I don't need them anywhere but the sails because we're not currently under attack. So, and we're not in range to. Are we actually in range to?
Yeah, no, I'm assuming you're not because otherwise they would be shooting you.
Yeah, I kind of figured. So all men to the sails. And Pascal will turn to the crew and say, "Look behind you, men. There be death. Now look ahead of you, and if you want to live, that's where you make us go, and in a hurry."
That's awesome. You have 5 raises from them, and they have to spend them all at once. So if you want to spend 5 strictly on... okay, so remember, we're going to interpret this in a narrative way. So what you could do is use all 5 strictly to try and like get the fuck away from the Beganza, if you want. Or what you could do is you could use their 5 to to buy 3 opportunities from the fort firing out, and then use 2, or they have to use for the same thing. So that would give you 5 opportunities you could buy, which means that the Beganza would take 10 damage.
Yeah.
You would also take 5, mind you, but they would at least take 10.
Sure. That's worth it.
All right. So then that's what they're doing. Let's talk about what you guys are doing. So currently you're looking at 5 complications from the Beganza's cannons and 5 complications from the fort. The way that works in terms of damage, every 5 hits gives you a critical hit on your ship, and your ship can take 4 critical hits before it becomes crippled.
Okay.
There's no dice penalty or any shit like that. It's just that it's like another round like that, and you would be in deep trouble. But you can spend your raises. Dave, you're up first here. You can spend your raises to offset those on a 1-for-1 basis, or to do something different.
Now, these are just the cannons from the prison, right?
Yes. What the other 5? Well, 5 of them are from the prison, which again the Beganza is going to take 10, but the other 5 is from the Beganza catching you and shooting cannons at you.
I thought. So we weren't able to successfully outrace the Beganza.
Well, remember, like the way that it works is we spend the raises, and then you sort of figure out what the narrative is afterwards.
Okay.
Right? Like it's a weird. It's very different from the other games we play, where we, what we're doing is we're playing this other like meta game that will dictate what narratively is happening in the game. Okay, so what is like the 5 complications? And again, you can spend raises to avoid these. What I'm picturing that being is the Beganza firing on you. But if you choose to spend 5 raises avoiding that, then what actually happened is that they're firing at you, but you've been so quick that it's plunging into the water instead, right?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you know what? We're gonna put all of my raises into escaping.
Oh, okay. So just getting away. So you'll take the damage.
No, would getting away. Oh, I see. Yeah, so I have to get away, and if I take the tool.
What I'm picturing is that I think that the way I'll work it is that when you are 10, when you hit 10, you're away from them. You've gotten away. Which
Okay.
puts them in the position where they have to either suck up all these fucking hits that are going to be coming in, and then just spend all their races to try and catch you, or they have to sort of like work around this.
Okay.
So I think that's the way I'll work the chases in this. And for those listening at home, if I'm fucking up the 7C rules so badly, then forgive me. But that seems to me like a way that it would narratively make sense.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're spending all 8, that means you are 8 ahead. That's amazing. You're almost away. So what does this look like? Like you're just sort of like the sails, flush, full with wind, and you begin navigating along these, like, we can sort of picture like great waves are crashing over, and there's all these jagged rocks that are being exposed, and they're only once the little shaft of moonlight comes through, you see this rock, and one of your crew members shouts out, turn hard, and you're quickly on the side, and the ship responds to you as if it was a fish in the water. Next highest, I think, is actually the Berganza.
Okay.
And I think it is hell-bent on getting to you, so it's going to dump all its points into trying to catch you, which means your lead is down to a 2. Steve, you are up next with a 5. What do you want to do with your actions?
Dang, can I spot some advantage while cruising through the water?
Yeah, so I think what you do is you can count that towards your lead if you want.
Okay, sure.
So you turn back, and are you dumping all 5 into it, or are you going to save some races?
Can I hit them with anything?
You could spend races on trying to damage the Berganza, I think, as well.
Sure. Like what about with some fire or something?
Yeah, you could fire one of those things over.
Sure.
Okay.
So let's split. Like, how many raises would that take?
Well, I mean, I think it's a 1-for-1 basis.
Okay. Let's fire 2 over and then add the rest to getting ahead.
Okay, so there's 3 to getting ahead and 2 over. It's awesome. Okay. And then you spend the 3 and there's the 2. There, I've got 3 left over, which is who rolled a 3? Was that anybody? I don't think so. Okay, so now we are. So what sort of happens is you guys start racing forward. The Berganza is so hell bent on trying to catch you. You guys are unfortunately rocked with both the cannon fire from the Berganza, who's firing its big cannons at front, and there is what do you call it? There's cannonballs slamming into the side of your tiny ship, tearing through some of the rigging and the ropes, but no significant damage is done. The ship itself, though, does take 10 points of damage between that and the cannons firing from Montaña Diero. So you do take 2 dramatic wounds in total. Then the Berganza goes rolling into there too, and they can't tell the difference between the ships at night. So the cannons are firing off, and the Berganza is just rocked with this stuff. It takes equal amount of pounding as what you guys do. The only upside it is because it's a larger ship, it does take longer for it to take dramatic wounds. But can't take another pounding like that. That's just the nature of the Castilian ships. Okay. And then your thing, Steve, you launch over this fire. How do you think it damages the Berganza?
Like, one sort of hits the side of the ship and sort of leaves the side on fire. We're not sure if it's going to do any damage, but the other one hits some of the rigging and catches the sail, and then a couple of some items on the inside of the ship there, and then that sort of gets the crew to scurrying.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, so that's another. Okay, so do you see it as damaging the hull, or do you see it as like hindering their progress?
Probably like hindering their progress.
Okay, cool. So actually, then,
although maybe we should try to damage. Well, go ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm envisioning.
Pascal will yell back to Oscar, "Burn all their sails."
You know what I'll say,
All
Steve?
right.
Is instead I'm going to apply the damage to their crew.
Oh.
Okay.
You're taking out, yeah. So the basically, remember, like every ship has 10 points in the crew. You've killed 2 of them. You sort of hear the guy screaming, and you can picture them like some guy's running across the deck, and then this thing hits and explodes, and he's a living, like a human torch. Okay, so that was the first round. The Baganza's gonna have to blow some danger points to try and get the fuck out of this thing now. So I'll blow a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. So that's the end of the round, guys. Now let's tell me what your approach is. I think you may get away this turn.
Well, yeah, then it's just basically out racing the Vaganza.
Yeah, because you guys are, well, the Vaganza can still bring its guns to bear on you. You are at an 8 right now. You need 2 more net to get away from you. Although I just spent a shit ton of danger. I had a huge danger pool, so I spent a bunch to try and make up the distance between you guys. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 raises, guys.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's blowing the entire danger pool. Oh, that's what I got 3 left. Okay, so what approach are you guys going to do this turn?
Yeah.
I think that unless you want to circle back, you're not going to be facing the problems. It's basically the same opportunities again too. You can spend a raise to suffer what is it? Not complication. Whatever it is, the damage thing.
Okay.
But truly, so yeah, it's this time of night. I'm just a fucking wordsmith.
Are we out of range of the Montaña's guns?
I think that you're still. Oh, the Montaigne, yes. You're only taking damage from the the cannons on Montaña de Oro if you choose to sail in there. Remember, you took advantage. You used your crew last time to, take advantage of those 5 opportunities. You're not taking any damage from them unless you choose to expose the Baganza to it.
Yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen.
So then you are taking 5 from there's 5 complications from the Baganza, from its cannons, but yeah, you can spend points from your crew if you choose to. You still have 10 in your crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, so 10 in. Okay, so 10 points in the crew.
Yeah, because you remember you had lost 2, but then the people, the prisoners you freed, are sort of helping you out.
Right.
Back up again. So you have 1, 2, 3. You guys have 4 raises from your crew this round too.
Okay. Can we send 2 to man the sails and 2 to man the bilge?
Yes. Well, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, you can. Yeah. So the 2. So subtract 2 wounds from the ship. So your ship is now at what? You took 10 last rounds. Now at 8.
8. Yeah.
You'll keep the dramatic wounds, unfortunately, but it means that it'll take more until it hits the next dramatic wound.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. Then you got 2 left over. What do you want to spend those on? Do you want to try and reduce the complications?
Or can we spend them on manning the sails and having a better shot at getting the fuck out of Dodge?
Absolutely, yep. Okay, so that's 2 into that. So you're at 10 total. So depending on what the currently, that means you're going to be taking 5 damage at the end of the round. But let's roll for you guys now. So what are your approaches for this round? Captain Pascal, I'm guessing you're sailing again?
Yeah, he's Pascal is making that ship fly.
So I think it's basically the exact same roll as last time. You can determine whether you're going to spend a hero point or not. It's just 1 less dice.
Yeah, it's already spent.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so go ahead and make your roll. So I think you're rolling a 4 and plus 4 dice, and then just roll your sailing with a bonus dice and re-roll. And Steve, what is your approach?
Good question. I'm thinking maybe we go. I don't know, maybe athletics this time, just to dance around and try to prevent damage to the ship and myself.
Okay, I'm not sure that's an athletics thing. I think I'll buy athletics as being used to kind of like man the sails.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, if that's what you're going to do to try and get this, speed thing up, I think what do you call it? To try and like, I'm not sure you can't really prevent damage. You can try and like repair damage, which I don't think is a.
My equalizer is doing a lot of good though, so maybe I should just keep up with that. Just do the notice thing some more.
You notice it, so in which case you're going to roll the same thing as before, just with 1 less dice because you're not getting the bonus again.
All right, bam.
Ew.
So 1, 2. What's up?
2 with the leftover, so you get 1 extra. Get extra hero point.
Okay.
And Dave, how'd you do?
Unless I counted wrong, I counted 5 raises plus 1. Now, actually, Kev, do the 2 from the crew manning the sails give me anything?
Yeah, those counts as 2 successes towards getting away, or 2 raises to getting away.
Okay.
So I got you currently at 10. Unless like the Baganza catches you or comes up on you, then you're getting away. What you've got is, but the cannons you're still in range of their cannons, so you're currently taking 5 damage this round as well from the complications. So you spend so did you say you rolled 5 with 1 left over?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll buy that leftover. You get another hero point. All right. So Steve rolled 4, and you rolled 5. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, it was a crew that rolled 4. Steve, did you roll 4 as well, or did you roll 5?
No, I got 2.
You got 2. That's not great. Okay, so first up is the Baganza. I think the Baganza is gonna dump all of its points. Nice. Is that what you plan to do?
No.
You could. I mean, like we're about 20 minutes from our absolute stop time. So if you want to spend that to get away, I'm fine with that.
But you know what? Unfortunately, the way I read it, it doesn't include any of the crew.
Oh, you cannot rescue anyone but yourself. That's right.
Yeah. So I can basically abandon ship, but I don't. That's kind of the biggest dick move I've ever.
Okay. Here's what the Baganza is going to do. I'm spending 5 of its 10 raises to it turns to the side and just hitting broadsides at you. So you are currently going to be taking 10 points of damage this round, which means you'll be crippled. So now it is to your turn. You got 5. What do you want to do?
You know what? I think I'll have to use all 5 to negate some of that 10.
Some of that damage. Okay, so I think what we're seeing is you hear that popping, you look around, and you're like, "Get down!" and crank the wheel the other way, and some of those go, racing across the deck, but some of them do slam home. Or maybe what you do is you avoid them altogether, but grind up against some rocks on the side, and the ship takes 5 more damage. But fortunately, because you had guys down in the bilge, get the water out. it doesn't take another dramatic wound. It's only up to 13 damage. Okay, so good round. And because the Baganza chose, okay, so that was your action. Steve, you got 2. You're up next. What would you like to do?
Let's try using my eagle eye to see if I can put him ahead a little bit.
Awesome. Okay, so you're like, hug the coastline, keep going, because it'll block the line of sight a little bit.
Right.
So you are you trying to reduce damage? Are you trying to get more distance, Steve?
Let's go for distance.
Nice. Okay. Which case,
outmaneuver them. We're smaller.
Yeah, and I think that's going to do it. So that is, what do you call it? They've clearly, like, they're turning and broadsiding against you is effectively them giving up the chase. So they try and hit you. It would have been if you had been a lesser pilot, this would have been a sinking shot. Getting broadsided along the narrow angle is just fucking lethal for these kind of ships. I don't know if you guys have seen Master and Commander, but that's the thing that ended one of the ships in that. But anyway, so the Baganza is sailing further out to sea. You can hear the pop, pop, pop of the cannons on Montaña de Aero. But yeah, that is you've managed to escape. So you guys will be able to sail off into the sunrise, I suppose, at this point. So here's what I'm going to say, guys, is you have you escaped. It's not a city you escaped, but you escaped somewhere with authorities on your heels. So you've completed the adventure for hot pursuit. So I'm going to add the ability, your ship's crew learns how to leave port in a hurry. Your ship can return to full complement after only 12 hours in port rather than 24. Normally it takes you 24 hours in port in order to fill up the crew that's been lost.
Right.
As much like the scientists aren't going to stay on board. But you guys sail off. So we'll do a quick recap up here and then, or post game, kind of credits thing. So what this scene now happens kind of like earlier into the day. We see, it's early in the day, early in the morning, and we see Captain Pascal walking the ship. He finally gives up the wheel to maybe like the navigator, or I don't know ships. Whoever drives the boat, I guess.
The second in command, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So you give it up to them. And you're surveying the damage to the ship, and as much as the damage is significant, and you'll need to make port and make some repairs to the ship for sure. Your crew handled themselves admirably, and the prisoners you rescued are definitely trying to help you guys out. You make your way down into the captain's quarters, where your plate, it's kind of the captain's galley. Your plate is the only breakfast that has not been touched. Down around your small table are, of course, Oscar and Orlando. Now, which of you do you think had the letter from Hector for Orlando?
I think you did.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll say that you give it to him now. He takes it and reads the letter as you sort of start tucking in and scarfing your breakfast down. So you're assuming you just got to pick him up and take him back to Carleon, which is the capital of Avalon. And he says, looks up, he says, Hector, he seems to have known something about you. And he looks up to basically at both you and you. So, did Hector tell you who he was associated with?
Well, no. To be quite frank, we knew very little of him. other than what he was willing to pay us to assist in your escape.
He pulls something out. Actually, I don't know what the sigil actually looks like. So, pulls something out of his case. No, it'll be in his pocket at this point. Pulls something out and places it down, and it's this like brass symbol. It's sort of like an eye with a iris on the inside against a kind of leather backing, and then there's a leather strap that can go across to cover it. It says, "This is the symbol of the invisible eye, or so the invisible college. You've heard of us, no?"
Have we, Kev?
Yeah, that was the organization I was talking about before, the one that supports knowledge and research and stuff like that.
Yes, vaguely. We've the organization is meaningful, but as we're all aware, quite secretive.
Well, in my letter, Hector tells me that first, you will, of course, be paid for your successful mission. However, Hector has informed me that there may be an additional task which may be to the mutual benefit of us all. Senior Oscar, I understand you have been looking for your sister, no?
Indeed, I have. We have been separated for so long.
What if I was to tell you that I know a man who can tell us where your sister has gone?
How is this possible?
The Invisible College knows, and Captain Pascal, I understand that you have parts of your mind that are missing, no?
Well, memories from a very long time ago, ones that I'd be very keen to get back again.
Tell me, what do you remember about the mountains near the Slavla River? And at that, you kind of have this, like, there's this flash of memories that are jumbled, and you remember, it's sort of like this jumbled, like too fast to recognize flashes from your former life. And there's a inhumanly long and beautiful face that you see is the only image that sort of that you recognize from this. And this face says in a language that you don't quite understand, but you somehow understand the intent. This thing says, "The seventh deal." And then you're back. And what you know is that that thing in your picture or in your vision was the thing that took your memory.
Da, da, da.
He says, I take it that you recall. You may not remember, but in the lands of the Sarmatian Commonwealth, there are creatures known as the Dievas. And the Dievas will make deals, unholy and ultimately unfair deals with certain persons. Once the seventh deal is reached, they take two things. One, a portion of the bargainer, and they achieve life in this world. This thing, I understand, has taken your memory, and I can help you to find where it is.
I would be grateful.
Then we There is a man we must see, but this is a great and terrible man. He must not see us. His name is Voivod Aldous Kroll, a terrible and cruel man who lives deep in the mountains near the Salba River. We must sneak into his castle, raid his store where he tracks slaves sent to the Crescent Empire, and names he keeps of the Dievas who walk those lands. If you will take me there, I will find these things for you and retrieve what I need for the Invisible College.
And if you don't mind my asking, what is it that the Invisible College has sent you to retrieve that in such a terrible place?
There?
Yes.
They have sent me to steal Aldous Kroll's soul. Now, do we have a compact?
I am amenable, but I can't agree to this without my colleague and associate's blessing. Oscar, what say you?
Senor Oscar?
Well, you know, it seems as though my wagon's been hitched to your star for a reason, so count me in.
Okay. So, guys, that's where we'll call it a session with the three of you having handshakes across the table. The camera pans out through the ship or the back window looking out of the Silver Shadow. And we sort of, the dramatic music pulls up as the camera goes high, and we see the shadow sailing off towards the rising sun. So that is where we will leave the one shot for for 7th Sea. Again, I apologize to those at home for our rocky start for this. It's the first time we've played and first time I've run the game, so we hope you enjoyed, notwithstanding those little hiccups. But we hope to see you again next time soon.